All right, so I'm going to review how we use a remote collar to do the walk. Okay, so this is a how to use the remote collar to direct the dog to stay with us on a walk. So the first thing, when I'm moving, first I'm going to start on my working level, and this is going to be my outdoor working level. And I want to communicate to the dog that when we start to move, so I'm going to tell him to come with me. And this can be a come, heel, or let's go. It really comes down to personal preference. But for Apollo, it's come. So Apollo, come, we move. And then I'm going to tap the button to slow down. Good boy. And then again, we press the button, come, we move together. And then button, we slow down. Now this come command means pay attention to me and stay with me because I'm starting to move. And then when we push the button again, I'm going to turn around so you can see me. When we push the button again, it means tap on the shoulder, pay attention to me and stay with me because I'm slowing down. So this is where we start to really begin to develop that remote collar communication between us and our dog. Come. If we don't communicate anything and we just stopped abruptly, sometimes the dog keeps going a little bit before they realize it, and they're not really staying with us. So the whole idea is to have that communication between us and the dog that helps them stay with us so that we can use the leash a lot less. But when the dog is learning and becoming proficient at this, we still use the leash to help keep their mistakes small so we can build some really great skills. Apollo, come. We move, and now I'm going to tap the button, pay attention to me and stay with me because I'm changing my pace and changing direction. All right, so whenever I change something, I'm going to let Apollo know. K-N-O-W, I'm going to let Apollo know when I'm going to make adjustments. So button, we slow down, we'll turn to the right. And then here, button, we slow down, I'm going to turn to the left. There we go. All right, so this is real smooth. Remote collar communication to help Apollo stay following my lead. And what we really want to do is we want to get Apollo walking with us nicely through the maneuvers, not just walking straight and steady, which happens on most walks, but I really want him to be able to slow down with me and maneuver with me because that's where you really start to develop a lot more attention. Now, one thing that's pretty important is that when Apollo gets ahead, the first thing I want to do is I want to get slow to help him match me. What I don't want to do is if he starts getting ahead out there, for me to pick up the pace and get beside him because now I'm matching Apollo's speed, right? So that leader-follower mentality, we want you to stay in that leadership state of mind so you can help your dog consistently follow your lead. Now, Apollo is not that great with leash work. He's actually a tough dog or a tougher dog to walk. So the leash work really didn't do 100% for him. It got him a great deal of the way there in terms of progress, but what we really want to do is finish it off with the remote collar. So using the two tools together, the prong collar plus the remote collar together can really help dial in Apollo's walking really, really nicely. Now remember, prong collar, remote collar, we're basically using them to communicate to Apollo. We're passing information from us to him in a very smooth way. Because we're using these training tools and because they're so effective at creating the conversation, I don't have to be wearing out my arm trying to control Apollo because he pulls so hard. That's in the past. That's a different life. Before training with the regular flat collar he had, it was a workout. So let's go ahead, let's do a few more maneuvers. Apollo, come, we'll walk. And I'm going to loosen up on the leash here so you can see where we're at. All right, so I've got the leash here. I'm going to tap the button, we slow down. He looks at me, pays attention, and then we turn. I'm going to tap the button, we slow down, and then we maneuver. Good boy. And then button, we slow down. We're going to go to the right this time. There we go. And then we'll button, slow down again. Bring it around left to 180. There we go. Good boy. Good boy. And we'll button, slow down right here to a stop. There, beautiful. There we go. Good boy. Come. And then we'll stop right here. Let me address one thing. Look at Apollo. Sit. He is so tap dancing on his feet all the time. Sit. Good boy. tap dancing on his feet all the time. He is a very anxious dog. And so if I say, good boy, and start like really, sit, and start really petting him, just like that, I did a really excited good boy. So now, sit. It's important to know that your reinforcer should help the dog stay on track, not be counterproductive. All right, so there's an example of what over praising, not in terms of doing it too much, but doing it, not in terms of doing it too often, but doing too much intensity with the praising. So let me show you what it should look like. When you have a dog that's really easily anxious and wanting to respond and react to you and your presence, you know, like when you come home from work, sit. Good boy. Good boy. I'm relaxed, he's relaxed. I'm influencing his relaxation. If I get excited, he'll get excited. I truly have Apollo following my lead, so I can kind of dictate what kind of reaction I want. But when the time calls for excitement, of course, let's use excitement. When the time calls for calmness, we really need to be able to influence it, and that comes from a calm state. So part of this for you, the dog owner, is managing your state and not letting your dog influence you to be reacting too excited, like to raising your volume too much, or to get tense, you know, frustration, things like that. Apollo, come. We move together, and everything gets to be a lot smoother when you are in a good place of leadership. And it's important to understand that there are traits that affect how your dog perceives you as the authority figure, the role model, the mentor, the coach, the leader, and there's traits that take away from that. So you want to make sure that when you're leading your dog that you display the right stuff, right? And so the few top things are being calm, being fair to the dog, helping them through challenging situations in a smooth way that is fair to the dog. Simple things like that. Helping them when they get distracted, help them focus their attention in the right place, not let their excitement escalate too much at the wrong times. So, but anyway, we had fun making this video for you. It was a little how-to on walking. I'm a little bit thorough, we got off on another topic. But hey, that's more information for you. I hope you enjoyed it. And if so, hit the like button, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.